Oops. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm trying to find Joanne here. Okay. Um, Let me shrink the screen. So today I have a wonderful guest on to share. Oh boy, what did I do? To share her story about Ascension. So let me just shrink my screen and. So today I have a wonderful guest on to share. Oh boy, what did I do? To share her story about Ascension. So let me just shrink my screen and. So today. Okay, here we go. Joanne, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I am just trying to configure my screen here and okay, so we can discuss. Go ahead. I apologize for that. Okay. I think we're good now. So
Okay.
thank you everyone for the little oopsie. Today is Sunday, January the 18th, and I have my friend Joanne on here, and we are going to revisit our conversation on the Ascension process. And I am going to stop my screen share here. And we are talking about Ascension. Joanne has some great information to share with all of us. And I myself am always excited to learn something new and different. And I hope you guys appreciate what she has to say. She does have over 20 years of experience in studying this whole amazing process on things that we need to do for the ascension so that we can rise and be better people in this lifetime, and hopefully that carries over to our next lifetime and beyond. All right, Joanne, you have it.
Oh, thank you, Roxanne. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
It has become a passion. Something that, yes, for 20 years I have graduated through it, starting with health, and then it carried on. And that was a big change in my life in a direction. And then I would say the last probably 6 or 7 years is where I really focused in on Ascension. Once I became a Reiki master, um, that changed things for me. It changed my direction and how I view the world very differently. I don't see it as kind of a matrix kind of thing with a picture of homes and that kind of thing. I see it as a frequency. It's a frequency that enables us to live in this 3D world, and hopefully we progress. The last time we were on, I will ask everyone, I think when I left, I said, think of the things that I brought up. And if you have any questions, I love to interact that way. I will try to answer your question to the best of my knowledge. But again, everyone is different.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to tweak your answer to what the person is asking. So you kind of have to, your life is your life, and it's what you're experiencing here. And hopefully, because if we could talk about this AI Atlas, that is here to help us ascend. It is here to keep us safe, and it is a good entity that will open up that portal for the earth to ascend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very exciting time for me. And most of the time, I will tell you, it is a God-given direction because, or source, whatever you want to call that power in the universe that is everything. So a lot of people are being put to the challenge. I can tell you, when I first started talking about Ascension, most people looked at me as crazy. They looked at me like I had 6 heads. Although I knew, because of my direction through Reiki, through opening up that third eye, and it's a daily thing, how it changed my direction in what I thought. I moved into a development that the energy in this development is so high. There's something very special about the energy here, and I am assuming it goes back 200, 300 years. But the energy that appears in the skies, and it's not just here, it's all over. You have to look at the sky. You have to look at those things, because those are, they are symbols to us that we are being told that everything is changing. So that's an opportunity to maybe, I would say, bring that up to family members. They're not open. I can tell you, I talk to my family members. It's difficult. They're just not there yet. They're not doing the work. So it does take work. Anyway, I hope that explains my journey. Right now, I am still into health, but I believe I have been directed, and I've started a group in my development, and it's a spiritual group. It's a mind, body, spiritual group. There's actually 3 or 4 Reiki masters in this development, which is it's not normal. Mm-hmm. So 2 of us have put this together, and we now do a once a month we get together, and we're opening people's eyes. We actually sent people to Edgar Casey. He has his first book, and it brings in, spirituality a lot, and it brings in, for him, he brings in the Christ consciousness, the God consciousness. Doesn't matter what religion you are, whatever that source is, whatever brings you to that level. Mm. But and I will say Dolores Cannon is another one. Mm-hmm. She not long ago passed, but I believe her daughter or somebody is now taken over her place. Mm-hmm. Of what she's full of knowledge, and she's very spiritual, very connected to the God consciousness, very connected. So that's it. So where do you want to go from here, Roxanne?
Well, would you like me to share the image, the paper that you sent me? I can share that.
Yes.
So people can see that. The one that you sent me about Dolores Cannon. I think that's a great place to start. And correct me if I'm wrong, but these are steps people can take to help them with the ascension process.
With their ascension process.
Yes.
So
because this is an individual thing. It's not,
No.
Right.
It's not this is a practice that will help you to open up your third eye. We are calcified.
Excellent.
And you sent me, and I think, I don't know how many people you sent it to, but I was able to get into what you sent me today on Ascension. And that person was talking about calcification, which is so true. Aluminum, this is big. Glyphosates. Glyphosates is what are in the vaccines. They're in there. That's what they are. So it's fluoride. I quit using fluoride years ago because of what I follow. Okay, so I had heard so much about it. Right. But it's in the water. It's in our public water. It's there. When I moved, and and I can't say that everybody can do this, but some way, the cheapest way I've found to get that stuff out is through a Brita. That will remove a lot of that. Refrigerators, They tend to have a smaller piece of equipment in there that will help clean the water.
Yeah, that filtration system.
I love Mountain Valley.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something. It's in a glass bottle. If I'm going to buy water, some people can't buy water, so there are cheaper things that we can do to help that. But for me, the thing that got into my head was the Wi-Fi. And I will tell you, some people might disagree, and there are a lot of fake things out there. But I do have things on my iPad, my computer. It's expensive, so I try to do it as cheap as I can.
Yes.
To try to eliminate EMFs from my house. EMFs literally shut down your third eye. So do I think just by having the electrical sockets? Look, I tell everybody, look beside your bed. Most of us have an electrical socket with a light. If you had a tool that measured that, and it's Home Depot has them. They're like $100. You can put it against your electrical socket to see how much frequency is coming through. If it's right at your head, you have to remember we're sleeping. So if you have your light plugged in and it's turned on, you'll probably get a reading of anywhere from 600 to 900. That's high. Right. Remember, that's just one plug. So there are things that you can do.
Okay.
Let's go on to Dolores.
Okay. Yep. Let me share the screen, and I will show the photo here that you sent me. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so the first time that we chatted, I talked about where we were in 3D, where we were going if we did the work into 4D, and then our goal at this time is to go to 5D. But Roxanne, you and I have talked, yes, and we know that out in the universe, the God consciousness is 12D. We are in that cycle. We have now been accepted, and we are in that cycle of going 3D, 4D. We get to 5D, it's great.
Yes.
In my opinion. And then we will do things will come to us that we can work on ascending even further, but the steps are they're 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all of that.
Right.
So that was what we talked about before. And I let you know anybody can activate. You don't have to be a Reiki master. You don't have to be any of those things. Okay. So anyway, so everybody can do this. And that's why I wanted some questions at the end. All right. Dolores can. This is like, okay. I don't know why I'm behind. I'm really behind. I have no clue why.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm waiting because I can see I'm still talking.
No, because there's a delay.
Okay. So, all right. Yeah. So I can keep doing it.
I'm just sharing the image on the screen. So maybe if I go like that, there. Is that better?
Yeah. So here's what we're talking about. Dolores Cannon had found a way to daily do a sacred daily practice. Okay. First thing in the morning, I can tell you it's difficult to just wake up and place your hands on your heart, breathe deeply, and recite, I am in the 5th dimension. Because what you put out there verbally is what you get. I am love. I am light. I am timeless. I am home. So we are visualizing ourselves there. Okay. Step 2, You take very huge to hydrate. Okay, so what we want to do, if we can remember, and as we go on, it will become a daily ritual. Mm-hmm. You take the water and you speak into the water. You hold the water. Water has molecules. It will take on your vibration. Mm-hmm. So you recite, this water carries the frequency of 5D. It activates my light body and raises my vibration. It's all about us getting into that vibration. Yes. Food blessing. Before food, place your hands over the food, bless it with love, because it's all about love. Mm-hmm. When you ascend into those different dimensions, it's all love. It's all about love. There will not be where you hold on to any negative things that people have said to you. It's all about love. Okay. So you're going to do that. May this food support my ascension and nourish my transformation. Fear release. Fear is what keeps what I call the demonic world, because we're getting rid of them, because we need everybody that can do this or can see the vision for, it's not one person raising that, it's a collective. Mm-hmm. So it's a collective of ascension thoughts, mind thoughts, kindness, non-judgment, loving. It's those thoughts and daily trying to stay there, because we live in 3D and everything hits us. That will bring a collective together, and we need a percentage in order for the earth to ascend. From what I understand, we have reached that collective. So we're moving very quickly now. Mm-hmm. Fear is what feeds the demonics. Mm-hmm. That's what feeds them. They live off of it. That's why they produce so many negative things in our government, in our food, everything. Mm-hmm. So if you feel that coming on, you place your hands over your heart. It's always about breath, deep breathing. And you say, this fear is not real. It is a 3D illusion. Mm-hmm. That's where we are. I release it now. I choose love instead every time. Every time you do that, you anchor deeper into 5D. You will start to feel this daily. You do feel it. You will get it. Mm-hmm. And the last thing that she talks about is evening integration. So before sleep, reflect without judgment. And you know, when I started to do this, I didn't think about the things that hit my life that weren't exactly right or were negative. When I started to do this, I would try to remember where I felt the love that day, the connection and the timelessness. Mm-hmm. For people who are doing this, their time, because time is different here in 3D, the time will speed for us. Mm-hmm. It will speed and move to the next. It won't dwell in that 3D time zone. It won't do it. So mm-hmm. if you can do that, you know, practice, it says, you know, she says your 5D, that becomes your default state. It means you see more of yourself in a 5D setting or a 4D setting than in a 3D setting. So the world will start to feel, the 3D setting will feel like an old dream. Okay. So it does happen. Mm-hmm. I don't say that, even when I got this, which was probably 3 weeks ago, mm-hmm. I had to place it in a spot that in the kitchen, because okay. That was my thing. But once I saw it, if I didn't do the things, I still went to it and did it, completed it.
Yeah.
So, I hope, we were talking about what things that we can do to ascend. I think that this is a key practice, because as you do it,
Mm-hmm.
your mind, it changes. It does change. It does.
Right. So you had mentioned how water can take on our feelings,
Yep.
whether that's love
Yep.
or anger and bad stuff.
Right.
And there was a, I'm Googling it now, but there was a Japanese scientist who studied the effects of water. And there's, I mean, the proof is out there.
Yeah, it is.
And you can see how the water vibrates and
Mm-hmm.
the creations, the designs that it makes,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's within like water and sand or water and ice. So when the ice
Mm-hmm.
freezes, I mean, it looks completely different from anger and madness and hatred to love and all things beautiful, right? So
Yeah,
there really, it really does affect
it
every one
does.
of
And
us. So,
Roxanne, you brought up a really good point, because when you first started to speak about the water, okay,
mhm,
I wasn't even thinking about this. But let's say you don't put that frequency into that water. Let's
mhm,
say you're having an issue with someone in your family or at work. Let's talk about work. So you come back to your desk, you have a glass of water. You have all that anger in you. You pick up that water. The anger goes into the water and magnifies the problem.
mhm,
That was really that was a really good analogy that you picked up. Also,
mhm,
there's several things I've heard about water as well. So you have your glass of water. I go as far as, because there's water in my tea,
mhm,
I do it.
mhm.
If there's water present in something I'm drinking, I still do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm,
But the when I look at, if you have a glass of water, and let's say
mhm,
you're listening to music,
mhm.
let's say you're a rapper, you have your glass of water there, you got that rapping stuff on, and I'm not saying it's all bad, okay, but it depends on what you're listening to. But let's say it's a rapper that is bringing in negativity and what the world is and how horrible it is. That water will pick up, it will pick up that frequency
Mhm.
of of what that music is trying to say. Now you drink this,
Yep.
you drink it. What
Mhm.
do you think is happening? You put it
Well,
into your body.
mhm. You're
So
right.
it's
So, and you're right. So, I think if somebody is going to, you know, listen to negative things where things make them angry or mad or upset, and then if you have your quote unquote, if you have your water nearby, or maybe it's something else you're drinking, but I
yeah.
know the water picks it up, so I'm sure other things do too. But what you put out there, you
Mhm.
get back, right?
Right.
So if we're putting out anger and resentment and hatred towards others, that's what we're getting back. And then what is happening to our temple? It's filling up with that negative energy. The cells are going to start to get sicker and things are going to start to decline
Mm-hmm.
within.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's
how
our
many
that's
years
health.
has
Yeah.
somebody done that to themselves?
I,
You know, and you know, just what we
fear
put out
based.
there is what we get back, is what I'm
Exactly.
trying to say.
So
Now, that Japanese scientist who
mhm.
studied the effects on water is Masaru Emoto. So, Emoto reminds me of emotions, right? So,
Mhm.
our emotions again, how we feel, what we're putting out there, talking to you about the water and the effects it has on the body,
Mhm.
and whether that's good or not so good.
Yeah.
It's I think how we perceive things. And well, you get what you get.
It's true. And, it depends on how you were raised as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
was raised in a very strict Italian family, but we could all talk about, how we were raised or whatever. But Italian families are huge on fear. It's all about fear. It
Mm-hmm.
is, and I believe I have a couple Jewish friends, and
Mm-hmm.
they were raised the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I'm going to stop my screen share and we'll
okay,
get to something else here in a minute. So, um, anyways, I, I really believe that with the things outside sources who we don't know who they are,
right,
right?
right,
They're, trying to, I don't know how to say this because I'm trying to be careful with my words.
well,
But
because you're on you,
if
because
you
you're,
know, you know. If
yeah,
those of you, anybody out there who is listening, and if you know, then you know. That's all I'm
right,
going to say. So we have to do everything we can as individuals to raise that vibration. I
right.
mean, what does Michael and Tracy Joe always say? Stay in the love vibration.
Yep,
I mean, we have to.
I do.
Otherwise, it's like down, 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 down into that deep, dark abyss. And
Right,
it takes a long time to get out of that,
it does.
you know?
It
And because it's almost like you're starting back at square one.
Yep.
And how do I climb out of this? How do I get to that next level? And then, two, what you mentioned about fear. And that made me think of that movie, The Secret, and how they have that chart, and like that there's a division. There's like the equality line, so it's like neutral, right? And then you
Hmm.
have everything positive, and love is the highest vibration. And
Hmm.
then you look at the chart and it gets darker and darker and darker, and then all of a sudden, like at the bottom, I think it's fear and then hatred. I mean, so complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yep.
We
Yep.
have our love and our light, and we are love and light. And then there are those out there who want us to fear and want us maybe to live in anger, um,
Right. Because
or
that's
to
how
keep
they,
people,
yeah, that's
yeah,
how they live.
well,
They
to keep
live.
people
Yep.
scared
Hmm.
and weak and sick and just not well.
Manipulated. It's a form.
Well,
It really is a form of
right.
manipulation.
And misery loves
Yep.
company,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I don't,
Yep.
I don't think, that just came from anywhere. It came from repetitiveness of treating people poorly and seeing them just maybe copy that, and then they treat other people poorly. And
And
it's just, it's really pretty sad out there. The world is such a big scary place, but you know what, it doesn't have to be.
nope. Nope. We can do it. We can do it. The more you
So
listen to not just me and
mhm.
visionaries that are on the internet or whatever, you have to know who you're listening to. It's if it doesn't resonate with you, if your heart doesn't feel full, you turn it off.
Yeah.
It's not for you. The
Mhm.
message is not for you. So that's how to understand. Or look, this 2026 is going to be crazy. By June, there'll be a lot of disclosures. By June,
Mhm.
some of them for people that are not open and ready and understand that the, the universe is huge. You can't be fearful. You have to understand that, the earth is ascending and we are going into those places.
Mhm.
We were just held down for billions of years. And, but anyway, it's here, it's happening. I will tell you that in my lifetime, there have been things that I have held to my heart that hurt a lot. And I needed something, and that's the cutting of the cords. And that's that other piece of paper that I sent to you, because there is a process.
Let me share that. Let me share my screen again. Okay. All right. And here it is.
Okay. That is from, you could see where I pulled this off of, Galactic Council of Light Workers. Mm-hmm. Anybody that is interested in what you can learn and how you can ascend, you are a light worker. Mm-hmm. You are just waking up. So we actually chose to come here for this help with this ascension process. We chose. So I needed something, because I knew that I knew I couldn't. I had to do something physically, me, to break this down, to discard it. Mm-hmm. And then I came across this, and when I first got it, I thought, oh, okay, well, I have some things in my past that I would like to get rid of the anger that is held in my heart. So I went back to my childhood, and I am fortunate enough that I can remember being 2. But I can also remember the things my brother did to me because he was jealous of me. I can remember all those things that you think you don't store, but you do. And then as you go on. So when I first started, I went back and I thought to myself, okay, things that hurt me, that whoever, you don't know, things that are there because of life and what you've gone through. So I started, and I brought up 5. There were 5 things that I could do. You can visually, is the most important thing about this is you have to thank the person. You have to thank them for what you learned from that. Mm-hmm. But at that point, you need to discard it. And because I am a visual person, mm-hmm. not people can do it mentally. Mm-hmm. I need to go through a practice. Right. That's me. Everyone's different. So I thanked them. I cut the cords. I said this. I sent them love, mm-hmm. and I threw it in the trash. What I can tell you happens is you mm-hmm. stop thinking about it. You don't remember that. Right. This came to me a year ago. Since then, I have probably disconnected 150 things.
Wow. Because
as you start, mm-hmm. you start, and it's like, oh my goodness, like that made a huge problem for me. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, what did that teach me? Oh, thank you for that. Yes. Yeah, I lost the business to someone who was devious. Mm-hmm. It was my passion. Mm-hmm. I chose to leave, but the anger that I had over all that, because she wasn't like me. She treated mm-hmm. people differently. And so I walked. Yeah. I walked, but the anger didn't go. What did I learn from that? I actually learned what kind of person I am. I could have chose to stay. Mm-hmm. I could have chose to become that. I chose not to. So I really had to thank her mm-hmm. and send love to her, because I learned something from it. Mm-hmm. But I needed to do this. Some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a very they're strong, and they can just read it. They don't have to go through a ritual. They can make it happen for themselves.
Well, and I think the more you practice something like this, the stronger it becomes and the easier it is to do this. So, um, one of our friends, Jennifer, um, she had a friend, a shaman, Hawaiian shaman,
Wow.
who
Nice.
taught her the Ho'oponopono, you know, um, work. And one thing Jennifer taught me, she says it's super easy to do. You just, if you say something and you didn't want to say it and you can't take it back, you say cut, erase, transmute. And I see in here it says, may I
Yep.
be free from the ties that bind us. May all cords be cut, transmuted, and dissolved. And I just, that reminded me of what she had spoken of to me at one
Mm-hmm.
point in time. And it's powerful,
It
uh,
is.
you know.
And what when I started to look at all the things that affected, no
Mm-hmm,
wonder I was such a fearful person.
mm-hmm,
When I went back and looked at it and said, "Oh my goodness!" Like all these things were like piled up. They were
mm-hmm.
piled up.
Yeah.
The peace that you get from it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I found the most difficult was cutting ties with family.
Yes.
I thought if I cut the tie, I would be eliminating them from my life. You are just eliminating that issue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't have to be like, I didn't want to do that. Because most of us are family people and family is important. It's all about love. But the progression, you from childhood with loved ones is still there. It's
Yes.
there. What did they make me feel like? Why did they not trust me?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None of it matters. It's something was done, something we were supposed to learn, but we didn't choose that learning. We chose the hurt. And what I think this does is allow us to eliminate the hurt, send the love, and know, look, you got to look deep. What did I learn? What did I learn? We're all learning. That's why we come to 3D. We come to learn. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Definitely.
I think this is, I hope I try to give people things that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the two pieces, the one with Dolores Cannon, I think is huge for
Yeah.
Ascension,
Yeah.
but also the cutting of the cords is huge for Ascension.
The cutting of the cords is huge.
We can't,
And
we can't
yeah.
ascend because we're then being judgmental. And in
Mm-hmm.
order to go into 4D, 5D, non-judgmental world, so hard.
Right. Right.
It's
Yeah.
so hard, but you can
It
do it.
is.
You can do it. My job, I feel, is
Yeah.
to present these things to open, because I truly believe my whole life God has played a part
Mm-hmm.
in most people's lives.
Yeah.
So we came here for a reason. And I used to think it was all about health, but I learned a lot about health,
Mm-hmm.
which taught me, which is a very hard thing because we talk about this even with briefly people that are in direct marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can't, you, you, you have to, you, you can't be affected by the fact that they may not want to listen to you
Mm-hmm.
because you have something so special. But you can only place the seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always say, if it's now, not before. now I say, if it's meant for them, they'll accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that people are on here trying to figure out about Ascension,
Yes.
it's meant for them.
Right, it is. And when we first started this, and I don't know what's going on with the YouTube channel, but what I'm going to say is anybody out there listening to this, please write your questions in the chat. And if for some reason you can't write it in the chat, then leave it in the messages below the video, the area where you can put messages. And Joanne and we will get back to you with your answer. So
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not seeing anything in the chat at this time, but please feel free to ask your questions and one way or another, and we will get back to you with an
Can they
answer.
do it here? Do
No,
they have they can't?
Yeah, no.
They don't have the opportunity to talk.
No.
Okay.
Not through YouTube. They can
Okay.
type their question in the chat.
Okay.
So Zoom is complete because we're recording on Zoom.
Right.
And it's a different outlet.
I look, computers are not my
Well,
thing.
I'm still learning, so I'm just grateful to be here with you in this time and help spread the love, right?
You know what? I want to ask you.
Yes.
A really important part. We learn this when we get involved when we are attuned to Reiki, and we are taught that in our world we have to learn how to ground. Can you? I can explain it I go through a process because again I am visual.
You explain it because we had this discussion privately before, and I mentioned to you that in my trainings in Reiki, we didn't talk about this.
Okay.
So
right now, I'm not going to talk about if they want it. I will gladly show them how to do this, going through 7 through 1 chakras, which we know that there are so many meridians, which are chakras, in our body that.
But it goes beyond.
Yes, it goes
How
way beyond.
high does it go up? And how far down does it go below us?
Right.
So
what's that saying? As what goes up, or what there's a saying, what goes up comes down, or goes down.
What goes up must come down.
Something.
Wasn't that a song from like back in the disco days or something?
Yeah, I think there is, but a very short. Right now, when I told Roxanne, we're in a snowstorm. So it wouldn't be something that I could say to you that I can walk outside in bare feet and put my feet on the grass. And what I do when I do, that's an easy way of doing it. I will also tell you at night, I visualize, I've talked to Roxanne about this. I visualize over my head the white light consciousness from God, Christ, whoever. And I place that over my head and I put it, it's a white light I do too. I do a white light from that and I place it around me under my feet. That's a grounding. That is placing myself in a white light bubble to keep the dark side out. If you visualize a braid with the colors, if you are having an extremely tough day and you visualize a braid with rainbow colors and you place it around your neck and over you, that's another form of grounding and protection. So for now, people can, if they're lucky enough to be in Florida, and walk outside and we get the grass here too when it's not snowing. But again, you can walk outside. It can be cold. You can step there and just ask. I always say, source, angels, whatever your connection is to. And I ask that to protect me, ground me for the day so that nothing, because we're in a world that is constantly, people like us, we're being attacked constantly. So we have to protect ourselves with things. And, but anyway, white light.
So I usually protect myself with the golden white light from divine, but I also will shield not only myself and my family, but my house and my property. But I also put up the violet flame as added protection.
Great.
That's what I do. And I
No, you're
mean,
right.
as I'm saying this, it's like I see it around, through my third eye, I see it all over.
Yeah.
But
because purple is that color, and it does represent spirit. Some Catholic people have been trained that it's the Holy Spirit, but it's spirit. It's good spirit. And if you really took the time to look at your day, you would see miracles all around. But we're so bogged down. We have to work. We have, some of us have grandchildren. We're watching kids. We're doing this. We're cooking. Sometimes we get distracted.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful distraction, but it is a distraction. So, so many people would, when I came here, because of the energy that's here, another whole side of me opened up. So
now, how long have you been practicing Reiki?
5 years.
And that's when things started to open up.
Was when I went, because of my teacher.
Yes.
My teacher is actually writing a book, and it's, if I started to talk about it, which I'm not sure of what people are ready for, but
we don't have to talk about that.
No,
but
she's very connected. That's when,
yeah.
That's when that opened up, and I was very. Here we go. I was so fearful when I went into that room, and for me, I had to know that my teacher was connected to the God consciousness, because what there is good, there is bad.
Well, and then I know that, but what I was gonna say is, isn't your teacher like in the 12D or something like that?
She's told me yes, and that's yes. And that was when I first sat with her, she knew enough not to go there.
Yeah.
She knew I would run. She knew I would, because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for what we are. I wasn't ready that we are a speck of God consciousness. We were given so many gifts. I think Michael talks a lot about this.
Yes.
And he just did, I think 3 weeks ago, with Ishmael Perez. I don't know if everybody saw it, but I saw Michael in a different light. I saw him very different. And then because he was conversing with Ishmael, and Ishmael is about the dimensions and about what's coming and what we had, what was taken away from us or blocked with our pineal gland. They go into all that. But Michael goes into his experiences as well. And I was like, whoa, so I saw it. I saw there was another side that I saw, which I loved, but that's me, because I think most people have two sides to them. They do, they live here. Of course they do, but
so maybe, I know we're getting close to the hour, but with our next meeting, maybe we can touch more on the different chakras, since we sort of brought that up a little bit this time around, but maybe we
Okay.
can talk about the different chakras and their meanings, and
And
you
that,
know,
yeah,
how far down do they go is probably infinite,
yeah.
just as how far up they go, I'm sure the same. Um, but we're tapping in, you said grounding, so we're tapping into Mother Earth, to Gaia's energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I say too, we're gaining energies, knowledge, wisdom also from Father Sky. So that
It's both.
energy from
It just,
above
yeah.
and below, where does it
Mm-hmm.
congregate? I think in our heart, in the
Yeah,
heart
yeah.
chakra, you
That's
know.
it. That's a great, yeah.
So when we send out that love vibration, when we're sending somebody distant healing, because I do that. And when the best part about that for me is when I am tuned in and that energy is directing through me to that individual. Every time I send the Reiki healing energy, I mean, it's
Mhm.
not me. I'm the radar tower,
Well,
right? I'm the
you're the
channel
vehicle. You're the
and
vehicle is what you,
directing it,
yeah,
right?
that's all you're doing. Yeah.
But I love it because I also receive, thank you. Yes, I also receive it. Um, but it's such a wonderful, powerful, loving feeling
It is.
just to be able to like even look at your dog and you can, or your cat, or your little grand, if you, I don't have grandkids, but if you looked at a little baby and just send them love with your eyes and the Reiki with your eyes,
Hmm.
you can do that.
Yeah, you
But you
can.
have to be tuned in. You have to be
There's a
attuned.
process. There are prayers.
It is.
There are prayers that I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just, it's a you have to learn. You
Oh,
learn.
you
And the
have to
more you
learn.
do it, the more you do it,
Mm-hmm.
the more open you are. So the more you receive, and with that light, you are just transferring it. That's all
Mm-hmm.
you're doing. It's not us.
No, it's not us.
No.
We're the conduit,
Yes, it is.
right?
And that's, yes,
And you know, it's God. It's divine energy.
it is. And the more,
It's
for people
beautiful.
that look into Reiki, and that's personally what I think, and I know this is going way off topic. When I look at the third eye, and people that I have been lucky enough to encourage them to do the X39. The X39 opens your pineal gland.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Same light, but it does. And the more your pineal
Mm-hmm.
gland becomes decalcified, the more gifts that we understand that we were given.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we are a speck of God.
Mm-hmm.
We That's the way Earth was supposed to be before they took a wrong turn. So, so it's thousands of billions of years that we're still dealing with it, but we're coming out of it. So yeah, this year is going to be unbelievable.
Well, this year, I mean, last year was Year of the Snake, and we're in that final phase of shedding the skin,
Yeah, we
right?
are. Yeah,
And come February 17th,
it's done. I know
it's
it's coming, but
Year
what?
of the Fire Horse, which is going, my understanding from what I have listened to, it's going to be fast paced, full of
New technology.
just
The technology is going to be,
abundance
yeah,
and integrity
yeah, uh-huh,
and high speed energy.
yep,
Bam!
bam.
It's just
It's going to
it's
be.
gonna
It's
fly.
nothing like. There's. I have heard that there are different machines. There are things we can hold in our hand, and it will help. A lot of it has to do with health. But I will say, if anybody is drawn to being a Reiki practitioner, I would say please do it now. Because when this flip comes and the med beds are available, okay, we're going to need Reiki practitioners, because not everyone is to our level. Should they have the opportunity to use that? Yes. But if they have not been brought up, or for some reason they're so calcified and don't believe in a higher world, those med beds won't work, because they are that light energy. They won't work. Now, the way I see it is, where I think a place for Reiki practitioners is, I think everybody should have an opportunity to use that for health. That's me. Okay. But it may be that people that are not there connected in that way, maybe they will have to sit with a Reiki teacher and show them how to connect to the God consciousness. And then therefore, they will already understand that connection, that love, and then they will be able to use the machine. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. So I'm encouraging people, if you have a twinge of wanting to understand this healing frequency, please look into it, because we're going to need you. We are going to need you.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. All right. Well, Joanne, I know you are also involved with LifeWave, and you have a community that you're in tune with up there where you live. And maybe we can put your link if anybody's interested and wanting more information on
sure.
The patches, the stem. I almost said it. The phototherapy patches that activate our cells to feeling younger and healthier and more alive and more in tune. Right?
Well, I think what it does is it activates the part of us that have, what the way I see health. When people have a lot of health issues, it's their stem cells that are just so toxic. They're toxic. And so, there are ways to do that. I found that this is the easiest way, because I'm not a pill. Well, I don't like to take a lot of pills. So I take supplements. So I will try to do liquids if I'm going to do something, if I'm looking for something. I just heard, wait to hear this one. You sent it to me, Roxanne. You did it this morning, and I took it I just kept bouncing back in it. I kept bouncing back in it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that of one of the videos I was watching after what you sent, what I was watching, and it said, which was interesting, their iodine, Barone, they detox the pineal gland, and there was one other, and of course they went through what you can't have in your body. But I'm always looking for things that what can I do? Okay. And the patches they're known, if somebody really looks, that the glutathione in there detoxes the pineal gland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I'm happy to put your link in the bottom if anybody wants to, talk to you about LifeWave or how they can get a hold of you. So
or anything, if they want to talk about anything.
Okay.
So, I'm here. I believe.
What's the best way to get a hold of you? Through email or?
Email's probably better.
Okay.
Right. And so, you can do it through, I think it's joannedoc26@gmail.com.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Do you have that? You have that.
I have your other one.
Joanne
So,
444.
yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
either one.
Okay.
Put a Joanne 444 at Comcast.net. 444 is angels. So
Yes, ma'am.
that was
All right.
that was way back. You can put
All
it there.
right.
Yeah, sure.
All
I'll be
right.
glad to answer anything to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I love talking with you about this. And
Yeah, I did too.
yes, it's woo woo, but it's fun. And to me, it
And
makes
it's,
sense,
yeah,
right?
well, it
So,
does. And, hopefully we'll open up people's eyes and if they resonate with it, they'll start to look for it. They will.
mhm.
They
Yeah.
will. That's what happens. But anyway, thank
All
you.
right.
Have a great
Thank
day. Have a
you.
blessed day, everyone.
And thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you
There was
so
a little technical difficulty in the beginning, so my apologies for that. It's user error. But anyways, thank you, Joanne, for being
Thank you,
here.
Roxanne.
And
I love doing
stay
it.
warm up there.
Yeah.
And it's actually going to be cold here today, so you're going to laugh. It's 65 and it's raining.
Oh, let me in. Boo hoo hoo.
But it's going down to like 40, so that's cold to
That's
me.
cold. It's
That's
cold at
cold.
night. It's
My
cold.
toes are cold. I gotta get out of the flip flops and put some socks on.
It's so good. All right.
All
Enjoy,
right,
people.
everybody. Thank you for
Take care.
being here.
Thank you.